I'm going to share two stories and then what I learned from them. The first, I was, I believe, 17 years old, and it was the off season for wrestling, so I had bulked up for football, and I had bulked up, and I was trying to cut weight. So at that time, I was running about 10 miles a night. I had a route that was about a mile long, and so I would do 10 laps, and that's how I knew. I had a Walkman. It was a bulky yellow brick-shaped thing that could clip onto your shorts with some headphones. And I had a little armband that had a pack of batteries in it. Now my Walkman had fresh batteries in it when I took off that night. I wasn't even a quarter mile. But as I'm starting to round a bend, I see this silhouette, this shadow. There were street lights, so I saw this shadow pass over my head, and it looked like a bird. And I looked up, and there was no bird. And my Walkman cut off. Okay. So I take out the batteries, and I put them in the Walkman. As I go around the bend, now I'm jamming. I'm running again. As I go around the bend, there's a intersection, a crossroads that leads to a T intersection down the way. And as I cross that crossroads, as I cross that intersection, I can see about 100 meters ahead of me at the T crossroads a figure standing under the streetlight. And I don't know what it is about him. I'm team captain of my wrestling team. I am a black belt in 2 martial arts at this point. I'm 17 years old. Like, even if there's a guy standing there, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I'll kick his fucking ass. But as I cross that crossroads, I begin to slow down. Something isn't right. And as my eyes focus on this figure under the lamplight at the end, at the T crossroads, I feel weighted down, like I'm running with weights on my ankles and my wrists. Like I've got a weight vest on. I feel weighted down. I feel slow. I feel sluggish. And as I see it, I see that it's got no features. What did it look like? It was hunched, like it had no neck. It was hunched. Its arms dangled, and its fingers were like elongated, and they reached down to its knees. And all of us, like, it was like ice in my veins where I stop because I'm frozen. I've been to war. I've killed people. I've hunted people outside of the military. I've never felt terror like I felt that night. I froze. I couldn't. It was like I was weighed down by sandbags. I couldn't move. And beside me was a mailbox with bushes. Now, I'm from the coast, so the bushes around the mailbox were big, maybe 4.5 feet off the ground, just kind of flowing out, almost like a palm tree, but out of the ground. And I knelt behind it because I couldn't move. I was stricken by terror. And I watched it. And it went from under the lamppost, across the street, to the neighbor's yard. Then it went back to the lamppost. Then it went back across the street. And then when it saw me not moving, it stopped and it knelt down. There was the same bushes at the driveway of the yard that it was passing into, and it knelt down into those bushes. And we stared at each other. We literally just stared at each other. And I thought to myself, God, if you will get me out of this, if you would just get me out of this, I'm yours. I don't know how long we stood. We squatted behind the bushes staring at each other. It was like he was mimicking me. But eventually it stood up and it started pacing back and forth. Now his speed was not natural. It was not a natural movement. It's as if somebody was walking at a normal pace, but they were moving at the speed of a sprinter. It was not normal. It was not natural. And I waited as it was pacing back and forth. I waited, and the moment its back turned to me, I stood up and I took off. I ran as hard as I could back towards the house, and I knew if it wanted me, it could have got me. I no matter how fast I ran, it was not fast enough. It would catch me. And I saw an old man and a dog walking his dog. It was like a little Pomeranian or something. And I remember, to my shame, I prayed to the universe that it would get that old man and that dog before it got me. I made it home. I stripped off my clothes in the laundry room, threw them down, and I walked through the house naked. And I remember my grandmother being like, "Honey, what's wrong?" And she followed me into the bathroom. I turned the shower on, and I got into the shower, and she followed me, and she said, "Who is chasing you?" She's never said that before, because I could whoop anybody's ass that was chasing me. She's never said that before. And I got into the shower to wash whatever it was off me. Years later, I was 17 at the time. About 10 years later, I'm in Florida. I was the assistant master at a Taekwondo school. From a Taekwondo master, he was like silver medalist in the Olympics. And he didn't know Hapkido. I knew Hapkido. And I'm teaching there, and there's this old guy there. He always wore bandages over his joints. He was this old guy, and he's like, we became friends. he started taking me out. I was in a real dark place, man. Real dark place. Real dark place. And he started taking me out fishing in his little boat. He had a little boat. And I remember it was winter time in Florida. And he would strip naked and push the boat out into the water. And I'm just like, I wouldn't put my fucking foot in that water, and like, it's so cold and you're naked as shit, just pushing the boat out there. And every time we go out fishing, he would catch fish and I would catch baby shark. I never caught a fish. I always caught baby shark. And eventually he told me, he said, you eat what you catch. And so he taught me how to clean a baby shark and to cook a baby shark. Tastes a lot like gator, if you know what that is. Tastes like. Now this was a Zen master. He was in his senior years and he saw what I was capable of, and he wanted to learn from me the physical, and in exchange he shared with me the spiritual, the Qigong, the energy work, under the lineage of Shaolin Master Kit. And I was under the Shaolin Grandmaster lineage of Sin Quan Tai, the last Grandmaster of the temples. And one day we're at the table with his wife and his daughter and her kids, and we're all just eating what we caught while we were out fishing. And we go out back. He had a little Zen garden. So beautiful. And I shared with him that story about the shadow being. And he said, you know who that was? Now, I have 140 IQ, so I knew what he was insinuating. Now, this man, the Zen master, had 3 PhDs. He was a Vietnam veteran, and he had joined the CIA before he left the government and got 3 PhDs. I have a 140 IQ, and I knew what he was trying to say, and I said to him, how do you figure that? Like, I know what you're saying to me, but like, why? I left Florida to go on a road trip. I joined the Renaissance Festival, and I was just gonna go enjoy myself across the country. And he died like 2 months after I left. I can say about 8 or 9 years later now, I understand. I understand. I know it was me. But you know what? We all have a signature, and we are in this time and place. And if we don't sign our authentic signature in this time and place, then what are we here for? Because as a kid, I was always trying to walk real quiet, real soft, all the time. Never wanted to leave an impact. In Taoism, it says a good walker leaves no footprints. And then I had a friend say, it's okay to impact your environment. It's okay to make a difference. Yeah, they're right. It's the only reason we're here. Why do you have a signature if you're not going to sign it on this time and space, huh? I don't know if anything I've said is going to reach anybody or mean anything to anybody, but I've said it, and I'm going to share it. You are here for a reason, and I believe that you're here to be you and to leave your signature on this time and space. And like myself, I hope that you do.